friends, FirearmPop here, and today I have another in my series of armed citizen stories. Have a few of them to go over today, but my lead story today is going to be about from Tacoma, Washington. And this is in the newspaper. Intruder shot dead during Tacoma break-in. Anyway, it reads like this. A man was killed in what police said was either a burglary or a home invasion in Tacoma on Monday afternoon. The homeowner said he saw at least two people headed for the back door of his home in the 3800 block of East J Street shortly after 1 p.m. When he heard glass breaking, he armed himself and then hid in the bedroom, police said. Officers said when the homeowner heard a man at the other side of the bedroom door, the homeowner fired several shots through the door, killing one intruder. Looks like a burglary or possibly a home invasion robbery. We're not sure if the suspect knew there was anyone in the house at the time or not, the Tacoma police officer Mark Fulgen. Heavily armed officers swarmed the area and were able to track the other intruder with K9 and take him into custody. Police questioned two men at the scene, but it was unclear if one of them was the homeowner. Police said so far the homeowner was not under arrest. Investigators said that they may have been more than two men who broke into the home, and officers are still trying to find out exactly what happened. The story is a little puzzling for me. I don't think it's a good idea to shoot through a door and not know exactly who your intended target was. I understand you're frightened, and I understand they broke into your home. I guess I would have waited the other 10 seconds and had them open the door and for me to identify who they are, and before I would have taken any kind of action. I would have just sat there quietly waiting. Anyway, it's unfortunate. Man died, but I mean, he happened to be very lucky that they were intruders. Anyway, that's that story. And here's another story that was in the news, and this one also reported on the NRA news. I remember hearing this. This was posted on April 4th. Okay. This is in Pennsylvania. The owner of a North Charlio pizza shop and his workers will begin carrying weapons after the business was robbed at gunpoint on Saturday. Double M Pizza on Pennsylvania Avenue was robbed Saturday at about 10:45 p.m., police said. He walked in and pulled a shotgun out. I was there making a pizza and he said, "Give me all your money." He didn't have the gun fully trained on me, said the owner, Mark Miller. I picked up a dough tray and went behind there, and I told the driver, "Get your cell phone, call the police, let's go, let's go." Miller said the robber walked out of the front door, got into a car, and drove away. He said it was the first time in 8 years his business has been targeted by thieves. No injuries were reported, but the owner said he doesn't want to take any more chances, so he's urging his employees to arm themselves while working. I am encouraging my drivers to get a permit, get trained, and know how to use a weapon to prevent something like this from going on, Miller said. A well-armed public is the greatest deterrent to crime in the world. Amen to that. A sign on the front of the business reads, "We now carry." Police have identified a suspect in the robbery and are asking anyone with information to contact them. Amen. What can I say? You know, pizza delivery drivers and even any local store that are open that late at night are prime targets to these felons who get guns illegally and go out and try to take advantage of you and me. So hats off to this pizza shop, and because there are a lot of national chains that don't allow their drivers to carry. It's against company policy, and I'll be darned if I'm going to walk into strange neighborhoods to a strange house and and have cash in my pocket as they know you do, and be able and not be able to protect myself. Okay. Okay, the rest of these stories now come out of First Freedom magazine. This is the NRA publication, and again, we'll give the NRA plug here. If you're not a member of the NRA, you need to do that. This is the organization that helps protect all our gun rights and fighting for you and I. It's not a lot of money, and it's well worth it. It's a cause that we all need to get behind. Anyway, Armed Citizen Stories out of the latest edition of First Freedom magazine. Okay, and they go like this. Pike County, Ohio prosecutor Rob Junk, that's his name, J-U-N-K, Junk, made it easy for a journalist investigating a burglary. In fact, the entire story was essentially one long quote from the prosecutor. The armed citizen was in his home, minding his own business, when these two individuals busted in, at least one of them armed, Junk said. They trained a gun on him and threatened to kill him. The citizen later had marks on his body where they had beat him. Okay, the homeowner retrieved the rifle and shot at the men, killing one of them. The bottom line is that the criminal would be alive if they had chosen to obey the law and not burglarize people's homes, said Junk. Most of our Pike County residents have guns. I have several. If someone broke into my house, threatened me, my wife, and my 5-year-old daughter, I would shoot them dead. Most people around here feel the same way. And that's in Plymouth, Ohio. What more can I say to that? I mean, I agree. Amen and amen. That's what we're all about. Though Rocco Bomera's legs were amputated due to a medical condition, he is far from helpless. He's not someone to mess with, said his daughter, Nico. He's pretty tough. He does everything on his own. Rocco also understands that sometimes evil men perceive that physically challenged are easy prey. Okay, one such individual attempted to break into Bomera's apartment while his son, daughter, and several of their friends were watching television. The intruder crawled halfway inside the window and randomly fired 2 shots from a rifle. Bomera drew a handgun from his wheelchair and returned a more precise shot, killing the intruder. And that was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You know, they prey on the elderly, the handicapped, thinking they're easy prey. And I'm glad to see it when it doesn't turn out that way. A couple in their 60s, here we go, with the elderly, awakened by a loud, repeated banging on their apartment door. They went downstairs and the husband opened the door, and an intoxicated 28-year-old man pushed them aside and entered the home. The suspect shoved the husband and repeatedly claimed to live in the apartment, ignoring the couple's insistence to the contrary. The couple tried to push the man back out the door, but he punched the man in the groin and shoved the woman. And that's when the husband informed the intruder he had a gun and would shoot him if he didn't leave. However, the intruder remained relentless in his assault. The husband fired a shot, killing him. Lansing, Michigan. Upon having his slumber disturbed by a sound of a breaking glass, a homeowner quickly retrieved his pistol. He walked down the hall and discovered that 2 men forcing the front door open. He shouted at them, demanding they identify themselves. The men did not reply, but continued breaking in. That is, until the homeowner shot one of them with his .45 caliber pistol. Police found the wounded burglar lying on the ground outside the home and arrested him. His accomplice had already fled. And that was in Ottawa, Illinois. Here's another story. It was less than a year ago that Chicago's government was forced to repeal many of its rights-infringing laws. And a Southside resident recently joined the growing list of armed citizens owing their lives to the Supreme Court's ruling. Hearing glass breaking in her basement, a 45-year-old got her handgun and confronted two intruders already inside the home. I was scared for my life, she explained. I'd never been so scared before in my entire life. One of the men wielded a tire iron and the woman opened fire upon him. He fell and died. His accomplice fled. I thank God that I'm still here, the woman said. Chicago, Illinois. Amen to that. If the NRA had not brought those lawsuits and changed the laws in Illinois, and they're still not all the way there yet, but they're getting there, this woman would be dead. Those two men would have killed her. When 70-year-old Watson Green discovered a man attempting to break into his home late one evening, he immediately called 911 and got his handgun. Green advised the 911 operator that he was armed. The operator told him to put the gun away and wait for police, but Green chose to do otherwise. In fear of his life, Green fired a single shot, killing the suspect. 2 weeks prior to his death, the suspect was arrested for burglary in a separate incident. We had a lot of break-ins in Hobbs lately, said Hobbs, New Mexico police officer Mike Stone. The residents of the home were probably scared. And that happened in Albuquerque, New Mexico, or really in Hobbs, New Mexico. Anyway, there you have it, folks, our latest list of stories of armed citizens doing their God-given right to protect themselves, their families, and their way of life. And these, I'm going to call them dirtbags, that try to infringe on that, have to be stopped. And calling 911 and waiting for somebody to come is not the answer. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed these stories. This is FirearmPop. Be safe out there, and God bless. Bye now.